Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. My wife, 32 female, and I, 32 male, have been married for 7 years and been having unprotected sex for 3 years trying to have a baby. It has taken a toll on our marriage, and I admit that many times I've complained to family, friends, and coworkers about my wife's infertility. What I thought was my wife's infertility. Maybe it's because we live in Utah, but whenever the idea of us being infertile came up, people just swarmed in giving my wife recommendations to fertility specialists. The talk was always, oh, my wife saw Dr. Whatever and we ended up having twins. Or maybe your wife is just too stressed out. And I believed it because my wife contracted TB when she was 20 and volunteering in another country. Her primary care who she saw when she was back home just flippantly told her that TB could affect the genital area and prevent her body from housing a baby. But obviously he said it in medical lingo. We finally found a doctor who straight up told us that there was nothing wrong with her fallopian tubes or her endometrium. She suggested I get tested to see that I'm not the problem. The verdict comes back that I'm the one with very low sperm count. I was so shocked and went to get another opinion which told me the same thing. I felt so shaken, and because a lot of people knew about our struggles, they also knew we went to a doctor again. At a family and friends gathering, people started asking me about what we found out, and I just panicked and said that my wife's TB was likely the cause, but not 100% necessarily. People saw that as my wife being the problem, and somebody even suggested I go through with divorcing her since I was 32 and complaining about being childless, saying I could be a dad within a year since it was a short marriage. What I didn't realize was that my mom and aunt would jump on that suggestion and start telling friends and their kids that I was getting a divorce, and that this was my wife's fault because she shouldn't have been so reckless when she was young. What was worse was some people thought it wasn't even TB but a bacterial genital disease. This all got back to my wife through a friend, and she's furious. She said that she couldn't believe I was painting her as the problem when she wasn't even the problem, and that she was tired of pitying and disapproving looks she was getting in our small town, and that I needed to set the record straight or at least tell everybody to shut up, and that we're not divorcing. Am I the bonehead? I panicked and I felt like I didn't completely lie because TB could be exacerbating our problem, but my mom really screwed things up by making it malicious. Now I'm in over my head and feel really bad. Now for some comments. You're basically blaming your wife for the fertility problems from the start. You have never defended your wife from the bad comments that your friends and family have made. After finding out that the problem is you decide not to take responsibility and not to be honest and continue your lie by making excuses that it was a moment of panic. I hope your wife divorces you. She deserves a husband who does defend her and love her. You're the bonehead, man. WTF, grow up. Your wife is being humiliated because you won't tell the truth, and you're really asking us if you're the bonehead? Yeah, he's been complaining about his wife's infertility to anyone who will listen. He's a bonehead for that alone. This was never her fault. It still isn't. And even if it was, what kind of person just goes around complaining about someone else's medical issues? Now that they have answers, he's too scared to own the truth. Where are your balls, OP? You're the bonehead. This is not on your mom. I mean, she's awful, but so are you. And you did completely lie to protect your fragile ego. You owe your wife an enormous apology, and you should, in person, tell every single person you lied. But of course you won't. I'll provide some background detail, but I'll keep it short. My sister Anna suffered a TBI in a car accident. She doesn't get a lot of social cues, is slow to respond, and sometimes throws tantrums like a moody teen. I do love and care about her, but the easiest way to explain it is that she can sometimes act like a child. I'm getting married early next year. My wedding day is something I've dreamed about for years. I'll put it bluntly. I don't want Anna to attend the wedding. Mom would be hovering over her. I know this might sound selfish to some, but I just want Mom to be there for me for one day, and she might be distracting during the ceremony or reception. I suggested we book a room for Anna at a nearby hotel, and if needed, Mom can go check in on her. And I say this because she can stay alone and has stayed alone in the past. Mom said I should be including Anna. I tried to explain to her that I just want my perfect day, but she didn't want to hear it. We're not having any kids at our wedding under 13, and I made the mistake of bringing that up in front of Mom in relation to Anna and her behavior, which didn't go over well. Me and Mom had a major argument, and I uninvited her, saying she should think of me for a second instead of Anna, and if she really feels so strongly, she doesn't have to come at all. I'm really hurt because I'd like my own mother to be there for me on my big day, but this is just all blowing up. Mom got really upset and called me a selfish brat. A couple of my friends are saying I'm in the wrong here, so I decided to post. Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. You want one day to be special where you're the focus. You feel important and valued by your mother, and where you feel you matter. It wouldn't matter if it's your wedding or a regular Sunday. You want to feel 100% seen by your mother. I get it. You're not the bonehead to want this. However, your sister can't help her situation, and that's what people are focusing on. A lot of the responders may never have lived in a family where one member takes the lion's share of the focus. What you're asking for is one day to be more about you. But the problem here is that your mother is not on board. She wants your sister included, and whether she comes or not, your mother will never give you the focus you want and desire. You'll always be second. I'm sorry. Maybe it's best if neither comes, but if you have your sister and mother there, just know your mother will ensure your sister's comfort over your celebration. OP replied, "Thank you for being understanding. The past few years have been really tough on me too. Anna was really bright, an Ivy student, one of the top chess players in our state, sharp but sweet. Not saying she's still not bright, but she does have her issues. Again, not at all saying it's her fault, but it is what it sadly is. This is rough, but you're the bonehead. You're excluding your sister from an important day in your life because she can't act normally due to her TBI. I understand wanting my one day, but real talk, OP, is one day. When you look back, you won't have your mom or your sister in your photos. When asked about it, what will you say? I invited my mom but not my sister because I didn't want her taking attention away from me since her TBI happened. And then when my mom confronted me about excluding my sister, I told her not to come too because again, I know she wasn't going to pay any attention to me. Is one day out of a calendar year really worth the permanent fallout? Not the bonehead, really. You deserve to have a day not overshadowed by your sister and behavior. Your mother is choosing her. Yes, it's not your sister's fault she has a TBI. No one is saying that. Would it make mom rest easier if someone stayed with sister? OP replied, yeah, I'm in no way blaming her. None of this is her fault. But it is what it is. Even if someone else stays with her, mom will still want to check. I mean, she can stay alone, but people will still come up to talk to her. There'll also be a lot of people she doesn't know at the wedding from my fiancé's side. You're the bonehead. I always thought that weddings were a way to celebrate the union of two partners with family and friends, not a self-centered perfect event. I guess this is why I would never understand posts like that, or any whining childless wedding posts of people ready to die on some hills to exclude close family members. Yes, disabled people, kids, etc., and damage relationships for the sake of a party. Your wedding, your rules, but be prepared to suffer the consequences of your choices. My daughter, 21 female, and I, 48 female, just got into a huge argument on the topic of why I didn't get her braces as a child. I personally felt that her teeth were fine, and we were even told by several dentists that she does not need braces for any sort of purpose rather than cosmetically straightening them. So I thought it would be quite useless to put her through years of orthodontic treatment. She would constantly ask me to get her braces once she became a teenager, claiming her teeth were overly crooked and she felt as if every one of her friends were getting them. I told her that her teeth were fine and that her friends actually need braces for corrective procedures. She then began approaching her father. Father and I aren't together to help her get braces, but he always insisted that he didn't have the money. Eventually, I agreed to get my daughter Smile Direct Club aligners when she was 17, and they worked for the most part. I didn't have to hear her whine about braces anymore, until she decided to go to an orthodontist to get real braces, and was told that she would need serious treatment because she had now developed a crossbite from the Smile Direct Club aligners. She became furious with me, telling me that I practically neglected her feelings and insecurities about her teeth and that I encouraged her to ruin her mouth by getting her the Smile Direct Club aligners. Her treatment is estimated at $7,500 and she's demanding I pay for at least half, since I was the one who ruined her mouth in the first place. Am I the bonehead? Now for some comments. Info. Really, I'd need to know just how crooked her teeth were as a kid. Even if they were technically fine, as in she could chew and bite without issues, having wonky teeth can make a huge impact on one's self-esteem. You're the bonehead. Getting braces for cosmetic reasons is why they exist. You could have given her a much better life now if you had forked over the money when she was a teenager and gotten her teeth straightened. It's like you didn't even listen to what she had to say when she was a teen, and your responsibility as a parent is to care for the health of your child. Do you not understand what a stigma it is to have even slightly crooked, slightly overcrowded teeth? And later, if you were willing to pay for Smile Direct, why didn't you just pay for a real ortho? You're the bonehead. It may be just cosmetic, but it's something potential employers, among others, will judge her on. Straight white teeth are a class marker. not the bonehead. I assume all the downvoted not the bonehead replies are being downvotes by Americans who have a weird obsession with cosmetic dentistry. If you had genuine advice from dentists that they weren't necessary, what else are you supposed to do? They're the professionals we're supposed to trust. I'm not American nor living in the US, so very much in the so long as your teeth are healthy and cause no issues, leave them be camp. Part of being a parent is making the best decisions at the time. There's always going to be things you regret or get wrong, but I don't think you owe your daughter anything. If you had had medical advice that yes, she needed braces and you hadn't bothered, this would be a different reply. But I also think this is a cautious tale for using cowboy alignment places like Smile Direct or what it's called. Loads of them about right now. People should be going to the dentist to get braces, not those online cheap places.
What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you liked this story and you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate you spending your valuable time with me. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.